I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to learn more about Anchor's newest offering, MaxPresort OS. During this webinar, you will learn about what is MaxPresort OS, available operating systems, MaxPresort versus MaxPresort OS, and additional MaxPresort OS features, and how these features can be beneficial in a production environment. What is MaxPresort OS? The MaxPresort OS user interface will replace the current MaxPresort system effective later in 2013, as Anchor will no longer continue supporting the current MaxPresort. This new product is easier to use. Items have been regrouped to flow naturally, with the setup process improving the user's experience. Processing speeds have increased, which improves response time. In addition to containing a modern user interface with a library pane that allows for quick setup of jobs, the new architecture simplifies the product maintenance and provides for faster implementation of Postal Service regulations and other enhancements. MaxPresort OS for Windows was developed under Anchor Software's open system strategy. MaxPresort OS now runs under the Windows and z/OS IBM mainframe operating systems. Unix and Linux platforms will be available in the very near future. Old versus new. In the next few slides, we'll walk you through where all the features are located in the new MaxPresort OS versus the current MaxPresort. We will follow the order of the current MaxPresort. Step 1. In the current MaxPresort, Step 1 is where the user would select the type of mailing to create, either from one from scratch, reprint reports, or load existing mailing. In the new MaxPresort OS, the user can click the plus sign to add a new job or mailing, or navigate to the File menu and select New Control Book. In the current Presort, the I would like to reprint existing reports function was used to reprint reports generated during the previous Presort runs. This function is no longer necessary as the reports are now in PDF format, which will allow the user to reprint the reports without the need to open MaxPresort OS. Reports are now available via a folder called Reports in the working directory that the control book was created in. The Load an Existing Template feature from the current Presort can now be achieved by selecting the Open Folder icon or by navigating to the File menu, Open Control Book selection. Control books created with the current MaxPresort application can be converted from the .mps to a .xml format by using the MaxPresort OS Conversion utility. The Conversion utility can be accessed using the Toolbar icon or by navigating to the File menu, Import Old Control Book selection. This conversion process will be covered in greater detail later in the presentation. Step 2. In the current MaxPresort, Step 2 is where the user would enter in the mailer's information, including the mailer's name, post office of mailing, report file heading, entry zip delivery to, and the setup postage statement. In the new MaxPresort OS, the user can enter in the mailer's information, including the mailer's name, on the report section postage panel. The mail entry point information, including post office of mailing, report file heading, and entry zip delivery to, is entered in the mail settings section on the piece panel. The user can also set up the postage statement information. This is located in the report section postage panel, with the exception of the CRID fields that are located within the mail.dat section. Step 3. In the current MaxPresort, Step 3 is where the user would enter in the input file name, record length, file format, file layout, the following features: cast certified zip+4 in the input file before presort, the working directory same as input file location, and the output same file used for input are no longer available. To run cast certified zip+4 in the input file before presort, please use the MaxCast OS application. Users can also enter in the output file information in the Create Output File section. In the new MaxPresort OS, the user can enter in the input file name, record length, file format, file layout in the File I/O section of the input panel. Users can also enter in the output file information in the File I/O section of the output panel. Step 4. In the current MaxPresort, Step 4 is where the user would choose piece type, including letter, postcard, flat, parcel, as well as piece dimensions. In the new MaxPresort OS, the user can enter in the mail piece type in the Mail Settings section Preparation panel. Piece dimensions are located in the Mail Settings section Piece panel. Step 5. In the current MaxPresort, Step 5 is where the user would enter in the mail class, nonprofit and non-machinable selections, NDC SCF DDU options, tray bag settings, palletization, advanced options, manifesting options, and IMB options. In the new MaxPresort OS, the user can enter in the following in the Mail Settings section's Preparation panel: Mail class, nonprofit and non-machinable selections, as well as the ability to turn on or off the manifesting option. The NDC SCF DDU options are located in the Mail Settings section Dropship panel. The user can enter in the following options in the Mail Settings section Container panel: Tray bag settings, pallet settings. Note: the users must turn on the palletization option in the Mail Settings section Preparation panel prior to setting up the palletization features in the Container panel, as well as the Advanced settings. The Advanced settings are available here, as well as additional options in the Reports section Options panel. The IMB options are located in the Mail Settings section's IMB panel. Step 7. In the current MaxPresort, Step 7 contains various features including the batch legend, the Add to Batch feature, which is currently unavailable but will be released soon. Until then, users can manually create batch processes that are executed from a DOS prompt. There is also a Save Template feature and a way to begin the process. The Batch Legend feature is now known as the Add Another Mailing feature, located in the Mail Settings section. The Add Another Mailing feature is essentially the same as entering a batch code within a Batch Legend program. Note: MaxPresort OS will convert existing .lgns and .mps's into the new format as long as the .lgn is located in the working directory. In the new MaxPresort OS, instead of the Save Template feature, users can use the File, Save As, or save various settings to the library directly. This is the equivalent of the Save Template feature. Users can now run their presort by pressing the triangle Run button as well. MaxPresort OS Features. Now we'll be going over some of the MaxPresort OS user interface features, such as the menu bar. This contains File, View, and Help. The toolbar. The library pane highlighted to the right, as well as the 4 main sections of MaxPresort OS, including File I/O, Mail Settings, Mail.dat, and Reports. Within each section there are panels. The user can note which panel they are on by looking at the highlighted radio button. To move to the next panel, the user can press the arrow buttons on the sides or select the next radio button. The MaxPresort OS user interface is easily personalized by allowing users to dock panels in various locations, or even making the interface contain split screens, as seen here. In addition, to allow for ease of transition, users can convert existing control books to .xml format and run in command line mode using the new MaxPresort OS. The only difference is the user must add the presort path location of the control book to the command line. The following is an example of the old command line versus the new command line. Menu bar. The menu bar provides access to various drop-down functions such as File, View, and Help. File menu. The File menu is where the user can perform the following control book tasks, such as creating new control books, opening existing control books, close existing control books, save the current control book, validate the control book, which is a new option. This allows the user the ability to validate their current control book for errors before processing. Execute current job. This allows the user to run the current job process. Import old control books. This allows users to import existing Presort control books into the new MaxPresort OS. History, which contains a list of previously opened control books. Presort Conversion. The Presort Conversion dialog is where the user can select a current MaxPresort control book and import it into the new MaxPresort OS. This feature can also convert all control books listed within one directory, as well as converting any control books in a directory and its subdirectories. To help with the transition phase, this feature will also prompt for a mail.dat file for each control book. This applies a single mail.dat for all control books, or it does not use a mail.dat file. View menu. The View menu includes the following: Library, Show Hide Pane settings. This allows the user to customize the visible components of the MaxPresort OS user interface. Application settings. This opens the Application Settings dialog where the user can change the program's skin color, font, and view engine information. FTP Settings. This opens the FTP Settings dialog where a user can set up the site, username, and password, and more. Library. The library feature allows users to save sections of the control book for future use, instead of the whole control book. Users can drag any section of MaxPresort into the library pane. To recall a saved section, the user must open the correct panel and drag and drop the settings to apply them to the job. The next slide will show an example of a saved library with different sections of the control book. This is an example of the saved library with different sections I have saved from prior control books. I can import any of these sections into my current job. Application Settings. The Application Settings dialog is where the user can customize the look and feel to an individual's preference, including changing the background colors from light to dark, changing the button colors, and font type. These settings are saved by each individual user. This is an example of the light background with a different button color selected. FTP Settings. The FTP Settings dialog is for mainframe users only. Here, mainframe users can use the user interface to set up control books and upload them to the mainframe. Help menu. The Help menu is where users can perform the following. About. The About command shows the application information, including software and engine versions. Launch Help feature. This opens the MaxPresort OS Online Help, which contains field definitions. Toolbar. The toolbar provides easy access to controls that are available in the various menus. The plus sign adds a new control book. The X closes the current control book. The diskette saves the current control book. The open folder opens an existing control book. The check mark validates the control book. The run triangle runs the control book. The dual arrows convert previous MPSs or mail.dat files. Main screen. The main screen is divided into 4 sections: File Input-Output, Mail Settings, Mail.dat, and Reports. The first section we'll go over is the File Input-Output section. Input. The File Input-Output section consists of 3 panels: Input, Output, and Options. In the Input panel, you can set up the job name, job directory, file type, file name, and more. Output. The Output panel allows users to enter in and create output files, as well as set up the file type, output file, non-qualified file, output layout, and more. Options. The Options panel is where the user can enter in additional information about the job, including apply mark, bundle, tray, sack, pallet. Mail Settings. The Mail Settings section contains 7 panels: Preparation, Piece, Container, Dropship, Periodicals, IMB, and Advance. Preparation. The Preparation panel is where the user can select multiple mailings by using the Mail Index feature. This feature allows multiple mailing jobs to run using a single execution. In addition, users can also select the mail class, mail piece type, mail preparation, container type, container description, and more. Piece. The Piece panel is where the user will enter in the detailed information about the physical description of the mail. Users can configure multiple mail pieces within a mailing in this section by using the Add Mail Piece button to add another mailing. Users can also enter in the mail entry point information. Container. The Container panel contains bundle, sack, tray, pallet, skip, and advanced settings. Each one of these settings are expandable by clicking the circle with an arrow in it. Dropship. The Dropship panel is where the users can enter in the NDC, SCF, and DTU information for the job. Periodicals. The Periodicals panel will become available after the user selects a mail class of periodicals in the Preparation panel. Here, the user can set up information about the periodical, including the rate type, apply in-county rates, issue frequency, issue date, and more. IMB. The IMB panel is where the user will select the various IMB features, including the IMB type, mailer ID, starting serial number for the IM tray label, and more. Advanced. The Advanced panel is where the user can select to qualify single-piece mail as a basic pre-sorted rate. Sort the entry point pieces to the beginning of the output files. This feature helps with the optimization for larger files, as well as reverse the line of travel sequence and consecutive tray numbers on multiple tier presorts. Mail.dat. The Mail.dat section consists of 4 panels: HDR-MPA, CSM, Files, and Segment. HDR-MPA. The HDR-MPA panel is where the user will enter in the header file and mailer postage account information. CSM. The CSM panel is where the user will enter in the container summary details. Files. The Files panel is where the user can enter in advanced option selections, including primary ID, additional postage, machine ID, and more. Segment. The Segment panel is where the user enters in the index, ID, description, reference ID, and more. Reports. The final section is the Reports section and consists of 4 panels: Options, Postage, TraceAC labels, and View Reports. Options. The Options panel is where the user will select various printing options. Postage. The Postage panel is where the user will enter in permit, mailers, agent, owners, and origin information. TraceAC labels. The TraceAC labels panel is where the user can select the tray type, along with any additional tag information, including size, orientation, and more. View Reports. The View Reports panel is where the user can select which reports to generate. If necessary, the user can reload the XML and browse to the proper location and regenerate the reports. This feature is typically used by mainframe customers. The reports are available in a Reports folder in the working directory in PDF output format. The following is a sample of what the Reports folder in the working directory will look like, along with the postage statement report. Additional features. The following is a list of additional features within MaxPresort OS: Drag and Drop XML Settings, Settings.xml, and Statistics Appendage. Drag and Drop XML Settings. The user can drag and drop XML jobs into the MaxPresort OS by opening the XML file location in Windows Explorer. Then drag and drop the XML into a panel within the desired job. Settings.xml. The Settings.xml is where the user can manually define the following features: theme, color scheme, font, background image, and database. Statistics Appendage. When a user converts an existing control book into the new MaxPresort OS, all of the information will appear in the last 90 bytes as in the current MaxPresort. In order to add this feature to a new control book, the user must add the Statistics Appendage fields to their Layout Manager output layout. In conclusion, we would like to thank you for attending today's webinar. Please feel free to contact us at 972-881-2424 or send any emails to support@anchorcomputersoftware.com with any questions or comments about MaxPresort OS. Thank you again for attending.